Greetings everyone, welcome to Just Advance. This game was played yesterday in FIDE Swiss 2025 in the round 5 of it, and here with the black pieces we have the world chess champion, we have Gukesh, a spectacular player, and the way he's pushing in these tournaments, trying to go for a win, grinding it out every day with his confidence rising with every game. He has not had a loss, and the way he's pushing it just reminds me of the Olympia 2024 where he was grinding every match, trying to go for a win. He did not want any draws and he was playing absolutely insane complicated position. That's what he's doing here as well. In all of these games his game has been absolutely complicated, just so difficult and nuanced that he's definitely trying to go for such lines. He's pushing for the win, and sometimes when you push for the win the result could go either way, but the way he's been pushing, it just feels like that he's gonna be winning every game, or he's gonna try to win every game, and that's the mindset he's going with, and that's gonna take him a long way, and also might just retain his title with the experience that he's getting. So without further ado, let's start with this game. He's playing against the youngest, or maybe the one of the youngest prodigies that we have here in FIDE Swiss. So definitely it's going to be a fun ride here. Just e4 by Abhimanyu, and we have e5 by Gukesh, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4. We go into the Italian game, bishop to c5, the Gioco piano, d3, knight to f6, and just bishop to g5. We go into the Pianissimo variation, and h6 pushing the bishop back, bishop to h4, a6 now, and just castles, d6, and now keeping everything solid. And it seems like you told me, now you might ask me, you told me that he's going for complicated positions. So where is the complication? I've played this line, you must have played this line so many times, and now what is this complication that you were talking about? He just comes c3. Well, wait for it, because it gets better here. Bishop to a7, knight bd2, and now just comes this g5. He pushes g5 to try, and even before castling, and this just shows that he's playing not just aggressive chess, he's playing it to win, because hey, bishop to g3, but now just comes this knight to h7 and d4, trying to push open the center. We have h5 now, and h5 is a crazy line that you're absolutely going to adore this, what I'm going to show you, because hey, just d captures was played by Abhimanyu, but d captures is not a good move, and here you could go for a very crazy line, and that's definitely either this is preparation or either he is just absolutely an amazing genius, because h4, and h4 is a spectacular line that you could go for. The problem with h4 is that once knight captures, g captures, and you don't have time to bishop captures. First you go for a very nice switch in Souk, which is queen to h5, trying to go for this checkmate. But now what you could do is you could play queen to e7, and after e captures, and now just going for c captures, now you play bishop captures. Now queen is under attack. There is only one square the queen can go to, which is this queen to f8. All the other squares are not that good as this compared to this square. So this is just amazing chess if he had gone for it, but instead he was calculating it for roughly 10 to 15 minutes, and I think this line with queen to f8 he did not like, because it's a bit too passive, but black is the one who's pushing for a win there, and all of the pieces, white's pieces, so active, it's just very difficult to find a move, and I think he did not like that, and somewhere along the line he just miscalculated with his preparation and the lines he was supposed to play, and instead he goes for g4, and g4 seems like a natural move. I mean, what could be the point of this? The point of g4 is now you can sack the piece like you did in the other line, trying to go for activity with e captures, and that's what Abhimanyu goes for, because here g captures now has to be played, and here Gukesh goes for it, but now just comes d capture, and your queen is under attack. What do you even do in this position? Queen to e7 is the only move. Bishop is guarding that. This bishop is all the way over here. This bishop pair are looking absolutely crazy here. Knight caps on f3 was played, but just bishop to g4, and you can understand that there is too much pressure in this position, and you have to be a lot careful to try and survive in this position. h3 was played, and now you might seem like you have a line with h4, but h4 is just a bit too complicated of a line, and problem is it's not even the best move in this position, because now if you go for bishop to d6, a nice switch in Souk, because now I'm going to get the bishop out of the trouble, and now either your piece is falling, or now you go for this only one line with bishop captures on f3. When your position is bad, you most likely don't want to trade more pieces, but this is what this line forcing is. So here queen captures on f3, but now just comes knight to g5, sacrificing the queen to try and take the other guy's queen, and yeah, it just gets a lot complicated from here onwards. So I don't think Gukesh would want to actually go for this line, and this is not even the best move in the position, so why actually go for it? But just h3 now, pushing the bishop back, and bishop back to e6, and you can see that there's some tension, but if you're able to exchange one of the bishop pairs, your life might become a bit helpful and bit decent. So here bishop to d6 was played by Abhimanyu, queen to d7, and just bishop captures. I don't think he should have traded the bishop pair early on. Maybe if he had kept the tension, position would have been absolutely amazing, but queen captures, but now just comes e5, cementing that structure there, and it looks very scary. It looks like engine evaluation is giving it +2, so basically you're 2 pawns up, but again, it seems more than that, and that's going to be very very difficult to hold. But Gukesh still tries. He had the composure, he had the momentum, he has been playing amazing chess in Fede Swiss. It's his time control, and he is going to conquer it. King to d7 now, just playing a waiting move. We have knight to d4, we have bishop captures, c captures. Now finally getting rid of your bad piece with a very very active piece, and that's progress. That's really good progress, because here queen to d5, you don't want to allow d5, so queen to d5 is a natural move. Here queen captures on h5, and it looks very scary, but there is only one move in this position that can save Gukesh, which is this knight to f6, and he spots it immediately as well. You cannot capture because your queen is hanging. So here queen to f5 check was played, but now just queen to e6, queen captures, and now f captures, and you cannot go for a line with e captures if you're thinking, because just king captures. And after g4, the problem is rook caps on h3, king moves, and once the rook moves back, it seems like it's a nice idea, but I don't think I would go for rook captures. Instead, I would just keep on developing, and yeah, my position would be absolutely amazing. The problem with rook captures is now you go for g5 and your structure is cemented. Yes, I can grab this pawn, but this pawn is also there, and there is, for this one knight, I mean, there is just too many pawns in the position, and once those pawns starts to push forward, it's going to be very difficult to stop them. But here after f captures, none of that was played. f4 was played immediately by Abhimanyu, and now just comes this knight to d5, the only move in this position, f5, and e captures, rook captures, and knight captures on d4. He has been playing spectacularly, and he finds the best move in this position. So now from a +2 position, this is a 0.2 position. He has gotten it down to a draw, but still the work is yet to be done. Here rook to f7 check was played, king moves forward, and now just rook a to f1. We have rook h to g8, g4, and knight to b5. Now trying to eliminate at least one of those pawns so your life can become a little bit easy. Rook to h7 was played, and in this position you have to be very very careful. You cannot go for a move, very crazy moves. Knight is a crucial part. You cannot move the knight, because otherwise you're just getting checkmated, because the rook is occupying entirety of this file, and there won't be any more squares because this rook is filing here, and you have to be very very careful in this position. Gukesh goes for rook to g6, and rook to g6 is not a good move in this position. But the problem is rook to g6, the counter that you want to find in this position is so difficult to spot. I mean, it took me 5 minutes with the evaluation bar to be able to find this move, and it even took me 5 minutes to be able to find this move, and this is a very very annoying move. The move is rook to d1, and rook to d1 with the idea that you're just continuing to keep pressure on the knight, and whatever you move you play, let's say you play rook to c8, trying to just go after the pawns, because you want to be able to capture this. But now just comes h4, and now you cannot capture this. If you capture this, I mean, the position just completely falls apart, because now I can go for this very crazy line with bishop captures, knight captures, and now you can all see the move rook to d6 check, and you have to capture, and rook captures. I just win a complete piece. You're exchanged down. I have so many pawns. Your life is going to be absolutely hell after this. But here after a4 we have knight to a7. That could have been played in this position, and that's well, it's just very crazy, this position. It's very complicated, and still I don't think so all of this could have been played, and all of this finding it out in time pressure is just absolutely insane. But after rook to g6 we have rook f to f7, and Gukesh's life is made easy now. He has to still find the right moves. Rook to c8 was played. This is the best move. Rook to d7, rook to h6, and now just rook h to e7. Not trading more pieces, because now if you go for trading more pieces, rook captures, yes, this comes with a check, but just your rook on falls here, and then I eliminate all of these as well. Now he goes for rook caps on h3, and it's a good move, but again you have to be very cautious here. a4 and knight to d4. Now again, these knights are just absolutely amazing defenders here. I mean, other than this, your position would have absolutely collapsed. Bishop to c5, but now in this position you have to find the right move. The right move is rook to g3 check. Thing is, after king to f2 you play rook to f3 check, king moves, and now knight to f4 check, king moves, and this check, and it looks like white king is getting checkmated, but not really. Rook to h7 you can block, and after rook to e8, not rook to e8, after actually, you cannot go for rook to e8, because if you go for rook to e8 your position just completely crumbles apart, because you're hanging a complete piece. So what you want to play is a rook to h3 check, and this is the move. And after king to g1 now you go for rook captures. It seems like you're winning a complete rook. What am I even doing here in this position? But you cannot capture this. I mean, if you capture this, then c8 just becomes a queen. So what you want to do in this position is actually play rook to c8, and this would be a draw after bishop captures. And it's a crazy line. It's a really crazy line, but again you have to find it out, all of this, to be able to survive this game. But after bishop to c5, knight to e2 check was played, and this is not going to work out, because hey, just king to f1, and now what do you do with those knights? Hey, just bishop to d4 was played, but rook to f3 check, and now just king moves, knight to d3 check, king to d2, and just knight caps on e5. So you managed to eliminate one of those pawns, but at what cost? Because now just comes bishop captures, king captures, and just rook to g5 check, and now you can see your knight is falling, and here just king to e6, but just knight captures, and now you have 4 pawns against Drew in a two rooks endgame. This is not looking good. Here, rook to b3 was played, trying to go after the pawns, but it doesn't work. A few checks here and there, and now it's just a very bad position. Rook to d3 was played. Rook caps on b2 with a check. Now you have 3 to 2, and it seems holdable, but it's not. Rook to h2, g5, king to f5, rook 3 to d5, king to e6, rook 5 to d6, king to e5, rook to d2, and rook to h1 check, king to b2, rook to f, king to f5. And I mean, you can try in this position, but it's just not going to work out as long as you have that pass pawn. If you're able to somehow eliminate this pass pawn, your position might become holdable. But here, not right now. Here, rook to f2 check was played. Now just going for g6. Now rook to h4, rook to f7, b5, a captures, and now g7. But rook to b4 check was played. King to c3 and rook to c4 check, king to b3, and it was on this move, on move 61, that Gukesh Tomaraju resigned the game, because there's nothing to be done here. If you capture this, then I mean, just rook captures, second rook captures, and you just promote, and you cannot even hold this because this is coming. So yeah, it was he tried till the very end. He should have gone for that h4 line, but instead he chose to go for g4, and that's not the thing that cost him the game. What cost him the game is he wanted to actually win the game. He didn't want to go for a draw. He wanted to go for a draw. He could have chosen to go for a draw with those rook checks there, here and there, and it was not that difficult to find, and I think he would have found that out as well. But he wanted to go for the win. He had the extra piece. He had the advantage. When you have two knights on the board and two rooks against just two rooks and all of those pawns, you want to go for the win. And when you have that mindset of going for the win every single game, this is the mindset these genius prodigies have, and they always try to go for the win no matter the consequences. Sometimes you're gonna not have the result go your way, but what goes your way always is experience, and what goes your way always is getting to the top at the very end, because this mindset is going to take you to the top. That's why he's the world champion, and he's always going to be. I'm sure he's going to bounce back in the next round, and he's going to continue to play spectacular chess like he's been playing in FIDE Swiss 2025. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you all. Thank you very, very much for watching.